All right, welcome back to another session. No William this week, unfortunately, but we will strive on as we do. Lyron, I'm gonna put you in charge of going first because I got a nice burger and milkshake in front of me here for lunch. So
He's got the boiga.
Boyga.
I got the burger, and yeah, I feel like having some food.
All right. Well, we're gonna spend my first DTS, having removed all my energy, just staring at the spider. See what it's doing. See if it uses the energy at a reasonable amount of, reasonable speed, since I've been using a lot. So we're just gonna do an awareness check. And I can now sense energy with my Daredevil sight, as well as sense where energy is going or how it is being removed from the systems.
I'm about to sneeze. Hold on.
Let me roll my other 5 D100s. Less than. Is observation training in this case? Or is this research? This is definitely research.
There we go. Almost died.
There we go. There's my first DTS of staring at the spider. What do I learn?
He's very energy efficient. In fact, it looks like he's not using much, if any, at all. Continue his little work. So.
But he's not getting closer to me anymore since I don't have very much energy.
No,
So.
he's spreading
Yeah.
horizontally. It's not trying to make a beeline for you.
Yep.
He has enough energy. He can.
Very energy efficient.
Yep, very energy efficient.
Let's see, as energy efficient as the array that I was studying beforehand.
Hard to tell. Because the spider also uses the energy to not just weave the web, but also
move
and whatnot. So, not nearly, because that's a constructed design, and there's no creature involved. So,
yep.
No, probably not.
Okay. So it's doing stuff. I would like to make a mathematics check to calculate how much more energy, how much time it has based on the amount that it's moving currently. If it's been doing it at a constant rate currently. I guess even if it hasn't, average that stuff out.
Each key it captured could probably keep it moving for about a month.
Okay. It's going to keep moving. I guess I need to force it to use up a bunch of energy then. But a month of movement is, well, I guess it's not moving particularly fast, but I wouldn't have much room
month
left.
per key it captured.
Yep. And so far, if I've used a lot of energy, it has just expanded its web.
Yep. So it has those energy orbs it's captured. Got a little bit left in the tank. Delicious.
But it stores the energy in its web, not inside it.
Yep. It seems to pull the energy from the string of the webbing, then actually go over to the energy little orb that it's captured. So its web is energy conductive.
Yep. I don't really want to overload it either which might be possible, but seems unlikely given I dumped a bunch of stuff into it. Did we get back fake currencies last time? I guess I didn't use any fake currencies. Did I get back my inspiration? Was wondering for.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. It's moving at a constant rate. Ish.
Ish, yeah.
Close enough to calculate how long it's gonna last on the 4 key and a 1 sound energy, which I don't know how long that will take, 'cause it hasn't
It
touched that
doesn't
yet.
move very fast at all. It likes to take its time with its web, but also it has this the time and space dial, so that can blink
Yep. So
forward.
when I give it a bunch of energy, it still was moving at the same speed. It just was also moving through time differently.
Yep.
Okay. What am I supposed to learn from this? I guess I'll probably not die, but that's the boring answer.
Yes, the boring answer.
Is this thing a natural creature or like artifice? I don't really have any artifice, but I do have. Well, actually, I could see what happens when like non-martial energies hit it, or not necessarily hit it, but happen within the cell. I would like to construct a small debt charge. Not enough to do like real damage. I guess kind of like a cherry bomb mostly. Something real small. Cherry bomb seems too big too. But we'll do like one of those poppers that you can make. You throw them and they explode. I can make those with my demolitions kit, right? Because it's just like gunpowder and some flint, I think.
Yeah, you could probably get your hands on flint.
Well, I've got my demolition kit.
Yeah. Then probably some gunpowder in there.
Okay. So I'll make those little snap popper things that you toss at the ground, they explode.
Mhm.
I will throw one of those like into, I guess, the corner nearest to where it started currently, after moving away a bit, and see if it reacts to explosive, like kinetic heat energy.
Yeah, it goes off. The spider stops, turns to look towards it.
But it didn't collect anything from it, and it didn't use time to go try to catch it. Okay. Okay. Make I probably had to make a few of those poppers when I made one, I realize. But I'll toss another one at the web. See what happens there.
It's already caught the thing mid explosion and woven in a web. It's very pretty.
Okay. I mean, I'm guessing that energy is not actually nearly as much as a single key. But interesting that it didn't do that to the explosive that was outside the web. But now there's just an explosive caught in one of the prisms. Is it just the energy that got caught? Or is there like burning bits of paper and stuff that's still within the what it caught?
No, it looks like burning bits of paper.
So it's just stasised it, basically. Okay. Not putting it into either of the spatial rings. It does like doing time stuff. And I'd imagine that it would just get a bunch of energy from the spatial ring if it was put in there. Maybe not the mirror one, but I don't think it would be trapped in the mirror one.
Oh, did you just move closer to it?
I don't know which direction. I tried to move away from it.
No. This is the farthest away you can get away from it. Let me draw
Okay.
a little bit of spider stuff.
I moved away when I threw the explosive to hopefully not. Okay, okay. It's there. What else can I do here? Sorry, I'm trying to think of how I should continue, Johnny. It's like the spider can deal with most of my energy-based stuff.
Maybe.
Like, I'm fairly certain I could kill it, but that's not really helpful. Because it'd be effectively the same thing as just going outside. Doesn't actually acquire it in any meaningful capacity.
Let's find out if we have some music.
Oh, yes. Music. Remind me endorsement. I don't think I have any, like, useful containers here. Could use the kill flower. That would solve the problem instantly. But that's not. That's causing the problem of it being dead. That'd be bad almost immediately if I did that. Actually, yeah, I'll try to use my spatial ring, the mirror one.
Okay.
And I will try to. Is the spider still near the captured explosion?
No, it's back on the part of the web it's weaving again.
Okay. I will try to capture or put the explosion into the spatial ring.
Yeah, good call. Instead of actually, yeah, part
Yeah,
of
I'm
the
not
web.
talking
I
the
think it's a good
spider.
idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
I'm gonna have you maybe roll me a 1d100. We're looking for a 1.
It's a 44.
That's not a 1. Okay, so you're gonna go try and put the explosion in the spatial ring.
I don't have to go anywhere. I hold up a mirror. But yes, I'm going to try to put the explosion. Little snap explosion.
You have gotten bits of thread.
Okay.
So you will have captured using your mirror reflection thing. Some 1 bits of use.
Unusable, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Did it get rid of the explosion there? Or did it just capture?
Run that by me again.
Like, what happened to the web when I tried to put that in there?
No, you took the chunk out of it. But the
Okay, so
spider did something to the web to make it not quite usable.
yeah, but the explosion's gone?
Mm-hmm.
Did it react otherwise?
Looks like the web grew a little bit.
Huh.
So
I would like to analyze the energy flow then from the ring and I guess presumably going to the spider's web. Because I didn't know how the energy worked with this thing. And I don't
it looks like
know.
it tried to capture whatever you tried to reflect, but the spider got to it first.
Oh, so it just consumed the energy immediately. Okay,
Seems like it.
got it. So I guess it's possible that I would be able to get the energy if it reacted that way.
I
Well,
mean,
it wants to keep the energy. So did it just move the
capturing
explosion to a
something
different
through
spot?
a reflection is not necessarily possible, but that special ring is pretty special.
Fractal.
Yeah. So, yeah, it could be dangerous, but it seems to be working.
Mm-hmm. It reacted to it. So I guess I could force it to use all of its energy, and I guess it only grew that much when it used like 70 something key.
Well, it grew quite a bit. It grew a little bit from beating you to the other resource. But yeah, this is to grow the web explosively for such a little spider. It does need a lot of power. So, but
Yeah,
if
but I
you're
had to
running
use
your
up the energy there.
yeah, well, it used up the explosive one that it caught.
Mm-hmm. Which probably didn't grow the web that much. Because I'm assuming a key is a whole lot more energy than one little snapper. but I'm not really clear how that would translate. So, and it didn't start moving towards me, did it? Since
No, just grew the size of the web.
Okay. I'll try the same thing with the sound energy that it captured then, and see how much that grows his web. Try to capture it too. Not 2 DTS of capturing that, but that'll be 2 DTS after. What happens? Does the same thing happen when I try to capture the sound energy? It has already gotten it and has grown the web a little bit.
You went after the sound energy.
Yep, with ring, not trying to
Go ahead
consume
and
it
give me
myself.
that roll, homie.
64.
Yeah, it grew.
Grew a lot there.
So what
Okay.
I'm kind of getting from this is that it's already eaten the thing because of the
Mhm.
time, right?
Yep.
Because you didn't get to capture it before it's did a thing. Okay, cool.
Yep, so we didn't get the sound energy. I just got some bits of the web that it disconnected or destroyed. Which makes it seem like it's smart enough to understand that something was trying to be captured, or it isn't smart enough at all and can just climb backwards in time after something was taken and get it itself afterwards. So I'm not visibly reaching for anything. So it probably just noticed that it was destroyed and then went and used it instead, is my guess. I don't have a good way to observe that. I don't think.
You could just remove all the energy.
That's what I was planning on doing. Because it grew up to its current point from like 70 key and a bunch of other stuff that I tossed in there. So we'll just systematically go through and try to consume all of the 4 key that's left, and I'll be in this corner for when it grows a whole lot.
All right.
It doesn't look like it's taking any energy from the spatial ring that I had made.
Mm-mm.
Or I didn't
Yep,
make it.
that's where it is now, and then it goes dormant.
It is dormant.
Well, just try taking the webs themselves.
Yeah, I guess I'll start trying to take some of the webs now with the spatial ring. Just like the outer bits first. Because it is not moving at the moment, but it might try to move if I take some of its webbing. Because I'm assuming that that has energy in it still too. Or it might just be conducting the energy. Hmm.
The only thing I'm worried about is that I think Matt said like the web's its domain as well, in a sense. So be fighting against the spider and its control of the web.
Yeah, but it's currently dormant. It is out of energy.
Okay.
I'm just testing because I failed to actually take
Capture.
anything.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to capture the spider yet.
No, I
'cause
mean
I'm
the
assuming it can
energies
still.
and when the in the web is what I meant by capture.
Seeing what it does now that it doesn't have any big reserves of energy if I try to steal part of the web with the ring. You want me to roll another D100, or is it different now that it's dormant?
No, it's just dormant.
Okay, so I can just take part of the web with the spatial ring?
Mm, no, you take the whole web.
Including the spider?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Spatial ring will be using one of its higher functions because it has multiple different tiers of capture. It can't pull a single thread because they're all perfectly woven together.
Yeah, I figured that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I went, well,
Yoink.
we'll have to capture everything, but using this function is insufficient. So we'll use one of the penultimate grade storage units.
Well, I didn't want to capture the spider yet, but I've got him, I guess.
You can
I mean,
always
you
put
can
them
always-
back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can put him back. Yeah, we'll put him back. Whoops.
Whoops.
Okay, I'm gonna actually prepare this though. I
Oh,
will
you're gonna put them
before
back?
I just put it back. Hold on.
You want to put them back right now? Maybe
I
a little bit
will.
closer.
Maybe right next to me, on top of me.
Yeah.
It's dormant. It's not an issue. I don't have energy in me. I've only got one energy that it will then take, and wouldn't even need damage all.
Is there other ways to interact with your mirror dimension storage ring?
Yeah, I can go in and check it out.
Like, I wonder if that would be more beneficial
Instead of
since
putting
it's
it back.
think of
Yeah,
it like a scientist in a sense of like you would now have it in
observe it.
yeah so you're like so hey now I can look at it and study but then when I want to have actual results I put it back into the real world and then apply things to it and then go from there um
Hmm.
unless it gets too smart and then it takes over your that section of the ring. I don't know
That's
what's
like
gonna
a
happen.
penultimate grade
Yeah.
containment, which might be a bad thing. We'll go in to my ring to see what's going on with that containment area. This is like a big old mirror gallery when I'm in here, right?
Mhm.
I think. Take a look at the ring, or take a look at the contents.
Yeah.
Is it just sitting in the same state it was before?
Yep. It is perfectly captured.
And dormant.
Mhm.
Or okay. Well,
There's something weird about fractal.
it doesn't really behave within like normal physics, and this thing appears to mostly behave within normal physics. It just can move through time.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I guess I will spend the remainder of this DTS just studying the structure of the spider. Is this thing natural? Is it like artifice? Um, just a few awareness tests, I guess, before I decide what other types of checks I want to do on it.
Yeah, this is really cool too because it captured it in its dormant state, and I imagine if you put it back in the real world that it's doing stuff active, and if you capture it again in the active state, there might be some difference within those two permutations.
Maybe, but I don't know if I can capture it. Oh, well, it, it's the other direction, not greater than 99.
I meant more of Oh, you think you won't be able to capture if it's active, kind of deal.
Uh-huh. I don't think I would be able to capture it, because if it has enough energy, it might just have split off from the web. Because beforehand, when I was trying to take individual parts of it, it was just disconnecting that part, and
Yeah.
I was getting useless bits of thread. So that's
Mhm.
3 DTS of total time. I'm spending the rest of this DTS just kind of observing the spider itself to see, like, is this artifice? Is it a natural, I guess, organism that they had found? And I can recognize artifice with that weird cube ability that I got.
Mhm.
If it is artifice.
Spider is not artifice. It is a spooter.
It's a spooter. Okay.
Natural creature.
I wonder if this thing's a demon beast. Only the person that is, I guess, the owner of the ring can go into its gallery, right? Like, I can't bring Lar or Poe into here as an observer. Only as, like, a prisoner, right?
I need to change the music. I'm having a hard time hearing.
Oh.
Either that or I need to go from this audio input to. Yes, that turns the music way quieter. Okay. Thank you, game. Trying to look into the spider.
I was trying to look into the spider. That was just determining, I guess, more of its, like, function. Is it? You said it was
No, it's
just
just
a
hunky.
spooter.
It's gonna try and eat you. As for a demon
Yeah.
beast, not sure. Usually they would have a core, but the spider is definitely not big enough for a core. Maybe it's early enough
Yeah,
that it
below
hasn't
bronze.
formed one yet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
The way it builds its web, though, could be inspiration for artifice.
Yep.
It'd be really interesting too is you give it an energy source and then you like capture it within that moment and then take that energy source out that's captured in the web, or make it form an array, like you kind of direct its web making in a sense to follow these permutations, and then that kind of like
Well, because I have it dormant, so I could
Mhm.
just set up points of energy that I wanted to end up capturing, set it loose, and then pick it back up.
Mhm.
If I figure out how to pick it back up while it has energy, I suppose.
I don't know if it's easier to take energy out in this when it's captured like this either. Maybe like that's something you could try is you could
It
throw
took
an
the
energy.
whole thing, though, when it took
That's not
part
what I
of
mean.
it.
So you remember
Oh.
how you were rolling a 1d100 and you had to roll 1 to get the energy back?
The 1d100, I think, was just like a luck to see if I successfully
Captured
took
it in the
part of the
mirror.
web or
Yeah.
captured the part before the spider took something.
Exactly. So what I was saying is that you put it into that permutation of, hey, it's, within, it's about to eat it, but it's not about to eat it because it's time based. So then you put it into the fractal dimension and then you try taking that part out individually instead of just doing the opposite of what you did. So taking it out of your mirror instead of trying to bring it into the mirror when you already have it captured. That's what I'm trying to say. Then you might be able to just like literally take that piece out with it instead of
Mm. Got it.
So it might be
But I don't have the
easier.
whole web.
Yeah, you might not have like a 1d100 roll for just a 1. You could have like I don't know, a better percentage chance. That's all I'm trying to think of. How do you get a better percentage chance? That's really it.
Sure. Well, 3DTS, I've dealt with my issue for the moment. Did you want to try to do some stuff with your spirits, or did you want me to continue whilst you burgered and...
I've definitely burgered. It was a good burger. First time eating there.
This is good.
So what I would like to try and do is I would want to reach out with my my fate with my sword energy, and I want to try and grab um my sword in the cradle. I want to like not grab it per se, but I want to put my hand over top of it so that I'm connected to the cradle in this space. So like reach out my sword energy through the fate strand, use my hands to grab it while I'm in this meditative like state, and be connected with the sword in the cradle. Thanks. Did you catch anything I said, Matt?
Well, you wanted to do something with the sword cradle, man.
Yeah. So I was thinking,
He just wanted to connect himself to the sword.
yeah, the same way I've been utilizing it, like last week when I was able to
Sure,
go
but you
for
gotta
my
get out
wooden
of the
sword.
isolation box, and then you gotta go to the sword cradle. Connecting to it at distance, your sword cradle's insufficiently grown for that.
Okay. I just wanted to see if it was like the same thing. So, pretty much my bond with that sword isn't great enough for me to utilize my sword energy with fate. That's what I'm
Not
hearing.
quite. You also
Okay.
have every time you reach out with any energy, past your skin, every once in a while is gone, and there's that cold sensation.
Right, from the spirals. Okay.
Yep.
Um,
From the
good to know.
little spooky ghost things.
Hmm. Uh, well, that takes away my option for doing research in here then. Oh, let's just go back to my other one then, and that was what defines a sanctuary. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Yeah, let's just work on that then.
I mean, we could like make this place a sanctuary, maybe not ours. I just put the spider out in the hallway and give it a bunch of energy and keep giving it energy. Then that would be the spider's sanctuary.
Yeah. That.
What are you
Thinking about these spirals, and I was thinking about how they don't really have a footprint yet on the material plane, and these little groupings are what sucking up energy maybe to try and get a foothold, possibly. And I'm wondering, should I try and like get my flame to try and counteract this? Like, I wonder if it's more of I need to survive it or I need to, because we learned like from last session about the void training on how the void body is helping in this situation, and it
Yep.
makes
Just
me
a little
think
bit.
of how my flame should be more fusion based, to kind of like promote that direction in this case. So try and get a flame powerful enough to withstand whatever this is, or it could be more of like a is it kind of like Casey's Lyron's case, and where the more energy you have, the more it can't be seen. I'm just trying to think of different ways on that, how that works.
Those things weren't also they weren't actively trying to capture energy from you. They were just bumping into you and having to sap some off each time. Or
Yeah.
did they seem to be like when they were moving? Did they have any direction to the movement, or did they just?
So the notes I have is whenever they come in contact with me, the area goes cold, and the vibration and the energy there shifts towards a less vibrant setting. Uh, so it's almost like it's overlaying itself, in which it um, tries to
I
tries to.
guess what I was trying to ask was, is it actually trying to do anything there, or did it just happen to bump into you?
Mm,
Like, is it actively seeking out your energy?
I suppose, is it sentient? Is it, like you said, trying to go out for my energy, or is it just randomly? So I think let's spend a downtime scene observing the pattern of this grouping of polygons. Um,
It's just that old DVD screensaver. It's bumping against
yeah,
walls.
right. Um, yeah, and I'm gonna utilize my name flame in this situation too to see if it reacts more to that fire, or if it's drawn towards it. Yeah, so I'll spend 6 downtime actions doing some assess rolls. You know what? Actually, I'm going to do an assess Weaver's Eye on the uh, polygon itself. See if I get any information that way, or if it is a bad idea because it could be disrupting that. Maybe that makes it easier to be into the material plane by observing it.
Observing it, um, you can feel it whenever it comes by. You get a little bit of a wisp of it. As for use your weird sight, your
Yeah.
Dharma sight, you see a little bit of as if like a little firefly moat, kind of lazily goes around the room, and you have 2 of them that circle you,
Mhm.
kind of like a
They're
perfect
circling
orbit.
him. Okay.
As for the polygon sight, it kind of looks like a will-o'-the-wisp, but if a will-o'-the-wisp is made up of a bunch of really loosely weird-shaped polygons.
Yeah. Uh,
So probably some sort of spirit. And anytime you put energy outside your skin,
Mhm.
like anytime it flares outside, they immediately speed up the
Yeah.
clockwise spin, and one of them will brush up against that energy.
All right.
Just the contact of them doing like siphoning the energy and eating it leaves this coldness behind.
Yeah, yeah.
What happens to the spirit's polygons when they consume energy?
He hasn't really done much experiments so far. Nothing.
So yeah, what I'm trying to do next, Matt, is I'm literally assessing it, not just observing with my polygon and dharmic sight. I'm gonna do a 3 spectrum visual and then audio from my Daredevil. So all 3 senses on it, and then I'll do Eye of the Saba to get an idea of what I'm looking at.
Okay. Daredevil sight requires noise. They are not noise does not hit them.
Okay.
So that means they are metaphysical.
Yeah, that's a checkbox from that side. Excellent. Okay. Do you want to like an assess roll from this or
Yes.
just okay? I'm not going to do. You said when it extends outside of my body, so I'm going to try and keep my energy inside and utilize some stuff.
You'll notice that the
So,
training you did for the Great Perfection Void Body, one of the
mm,
major things that you've accomplished is you have a small film over your skin
okay.
of this kind of weird inert energy. And it basically prevents the most basic, to use a poorly worded term, leakage of energy.
Right.
Because most individuals, when they are in an environment, they are an equal exchange system. The energy that they absorb, they also let off energy.
Hmm.
But for Void Practitioner, letting off energy is inexcusable. You can't afford to do that. Um, so you have this small little film that keeps basic energy circulation within your body. But the moment you circulate the energy faster than the resting speed that the energy normally circulates at, it breaks that film because it's very, very thin.
Okay. Good to know. So, don't over abuse myself in that situation. And
Any
this is
energy expenditure sends it outside, or any
anyway.
will to use anything other than just sitting there
Gotcha.
and doing nothing, because it's at the first stage. So, you know.
Okay. So yeah, there's that. Oh, perfect. Uh, awesome. Hell yeah, good start. Uh,
Great start.
Great start. So there's a 100, and I'm assessing the individual. The wisp.
$100s are cool.
Yeah.
Lar completely disassociates for a moment. Oh, wait, hold on.
So for Weaver's Eye, that's 9 degrees of success. I was assessing it. Rolled a 100. What happens next, Matt? What you doing? What you
Um,
Is it time already?
yeah, it's the
That was
time already. 100%.
It started at 11. 2 hours.
Was the car plugged in? Oh, I see.
Yeah. Well, you have a moment and you realize you were assessing the wall.
Okay.
You have assessed the wall.
What about the wall? It's just, I mean, it's pretty mundane. I know that from previous application. Pretty sturdy. Is there anything special? Any from that Weaver's Eye usage, like on the material and the assess? Is there anything
So
special
you
about the
rolled the
material?
100, you looked right at the wall, you missed the creatures entirely.
No, that's fine. I'm asking now about the wall
Oh,
that
okay.
I was assessing because I missed it entirely. So the next thing, I thought
It's a really
that's
solid granite wall.
yeah.
That's it. It's mundane rock,
Okay,
except for the damage you've already done to it.
right. So there's no other material like how I guess it's more of a okay. So it's from the individual itself and nothing to do with the material around us. Okay. Uh, Well, I guess I'll do sanctuary research. Let's start that. I got 50. And these will be, I suppose, intelligence-based tests. Every success is one progress, correct? For research? Unless you have other things that apply bonuses.
Nope. No additional bonuses. These rooms are considered not safe or sanctuary, but they are considered a training space. But they don't give you bonuses for research.
I didn't. Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's all I was asking. I was just like, it's just a base, whatever characteristic roll you're using for research.
Mhm.
And then if you have any environmental effects or any other qualities or skills, that would you get extra from there. Yeah, I got that.
Yes. Nothing on that.
Nothing on that. So I'm gonna send. I'm gonna wait for food to come first, and then I'm gonna send a message to Lyron and be like, "How's your hazard coming along, Lyron?"
Oh, unfortunately, I captured it already.
Oh, sounds like great progress then.
You have to be
Yes,
outside to
well,
communicate.
I'm using my.
I'm sorry, you're not coming through.
I'm using the strand I did the same way I communicated with Cooney that one time.
Huh?
So the
As
same.
long as that's Hey, can you hear me?
Picks up the
No.
on the wall.
So okay. So only Lyron could hear me. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, he can hear you if you're using the strand thread thing.
Yeah. The same way I did last time.
Okay, then
Can
I said
Lyron
I captured it.
can he send information back? I guess is the question.
Yeah, he can talk to Bing.
Okay. Yeah. So that conversation went. You said you captured it, and I was like, I'm having a little hard time with mine, but I know that it's interested in energy, and the void body technique is restricting my energy vessel so that it's not leaking. So I got that going for me, but it's growing, of course.
Hmm.
And I was wondering if you wanted to work on stuff in the cradle, since you already have it captured now.
I
You know,
was planning on going over there.
I know it takes a
Learn
little
a
bit.
bit more about the sword.
Yeah.
Takes most of a DTS to get both of us out because I'd have to pull myself out, go and pull out Lar. Takes a DTS to get my sound outside. Yeah, so it'd take 4 DTA to get us both out. But do you even want to get outside, Lar, at the moment?
I'm just in a pickle for trying
How
to
to
figure things out.
yeah. Sure. So I guess it'd be 5 because I'm going to be using 1 DTS to get my energy back out of the ring, so I am not a hit point from dead. Not the spatial ring, but the fancy ring that I use to hold energy.
Well, you're also like what you said. You're low energy state anyway. Like you're very low hit points. Like you said.
I'm at 1 energy.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. Cool. Honestly, I just need a better way to do research. That's really what I'm running into here.
Yeah, because I don't. I had a bit of a way to progress with the spider, but I don't.
You guys could go to the Cradle.
That's what we were suggesting. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'll do a rest for that one DTS, and then another DTS of the observing, like I said, and another DTS of that what defines a sanctuary. So that's 6 out of 50. And then a DTS. Matt, you said it takes 2 DTS to get out. Is that correct?
No, 1 DTS. One way.
One way. Okay. Gotcha.
So if
2
he,
DTS total. Yeah.
yeah, so want to get himself out, want to get you out.
Yeah. And while I'm waiting, I suppose I'll do another 6 rolls for the progress and what defines a sanctuary. And then pop out with Lyron.
Okay.
And we go into the next room.
Billionaire.
Yes. Lyron, I was hoping you'd help me with something.
I've got a DTS and 2 DTA that does not contain LAR here, I realize. Because you're at 5, I'm at 3 I'm at 3 and 5 DTA right now.
I included the DTS to get out of the cells.
Yeah, I was at 3, which brought it up to 4.
And then you had a DTS to get me out.
It is 5 DTA total to get you and me out.
Oh,
'Cause
just
it takes-
DTA. Matt just said DTS, I thought. So my apologies.
Nah. It still takes a couple hours, but
Alright, you guys are in the Sword Cradle.
cool. I am a bit behind LAR in time, so I'll be at the Sword Cradle for a bit before then. Or I guess he might not have done a rest DTS.
No, it's fine. I did a rest. I felt like it was good to eat and sleep.
Okay. I will do a rest DTS, which brings me up to 4 and an action. And I guess I'll use that action to observe the lack of sound a bit more out in the hallway and see if, well, actually, no. I'm going to use this to observe to see if there's any change in like the environment since we have put influence and other energies and such into the swords. Like, has the Cradle's influence expanded at all?
Nope.
No? Okay. Well, there's my DTA for that. Don't even have to roll.
You're there.
You were trying to tell me something, La?
Oh, I had an idea. So, I wanted to talk to you about my plans for these swords. I'm going to go down more of a sword array type of path, I think. Um, yes, but my idea is these swords are going to be like partners to me. And my sword being myself, my connection to it, and then my three other partners. Especially since we have the sword as a lie, giving it more of a not an actual physical meaning of what these swords mean, but something different like a ring or a partner in this case,
Or a sanctuary?
or sanctuary or wealth, or there's lots of things we can do with these swords. But I was thinking I would take three of them and connect them to each of my partners, giving them fate, each one a fate and a connection through that strand. I have my fated partner of ice that I do not know of yet, but I know you have the sound of it. And I was wondering if we could somehow put two and two together with one of these swords and connect it that way. I was going to utilize my influence, give it a fate currency, and uh, yes, get the connection. But I was thinking you could be that. You could be my tuning rod in order to connect that fate.
Hmm. Perhaps. I could give it a go. Because I do have the... I know the sound of a fate strand. Let's see.
A sound of a straight strand of a
Fate
fated,
strand to a fated person.
yeah, a fated person, which was the person which we're talking about right now.
Yep.
We got session 2.
I know what they sound like, and I know specifically what that one sounds like.
Mhm.
So I could resonate with that and tune one of my sound energies and put it in with the fate so that it is tuned towards specifically his fated pair. So I guess the idea here.
Um, you could try. I mean, these swords are here for you to try to do stuff with. So,
All right. So I'm going to go to one of the inert ones. And I'm going to put in first, Matt, can we put enough influence in that we go down a tier? Like, so for example, I could go to from black gold to gold in this case if I put in 110 influence.
yeah, you could. I warned you about it too.
Yeah, you go below. Um,
Do you know that it takes twice as much to go back up again?
Twice as much.
Mhm.
Okay, so it would require 2 degrees, and the same thing for if I go down another one to silver, 3 degrees per to refill that vessel. Okay.
So if you go down to gold and then you go back up to black gold and you go back down to gold again, it costs you 3 times as much. And unless you have a technique for it,
Mhm.
there's no mechanical benefit. There's no
Yeah.
like, yes, if I do it enough times, I become hardened and my key is more resilient. No, it's you just treading water.
Okay. The thing I thought about was I didn't have cosmic tribulations for like silver or bronze.
So you want to go
And
back down to bronze?
so yeah, I was thinking if I went back down to bronze, I could get those other 2 tribulations of the cosmic route. But if there's really no point, then that's fine. I was kind of thinking like, oh man, maybe there's a way I could utilize that, or like even go down below bronze and kind of like build up my vessel that way. But if there's really no point, then okay, yeah, okay. So if that's the case, I have 60 influence. I'm going to put. Let's start off with 10, I guess. So in this one, Savalera is going to put 10 of my influence.
And then I will attempt to tune a sound energy to his fate strand with his other half.
Yeah, because I'm putting that influence, and I'm also putting in a fate.
Got to put it in chat so that you can put it in the sword cradle. Because
Yeah. Um,
or just put it in the. I don't know.
I've already put it in the plan for myself.
Oh, you put it in a plan.
Yeah. So,
Oh my god.
but it's not going to be 110 influence, I guess. But let's put.
Well, you can train down to the bottom of black gold.
Yeah.
And then train up to the top of black gold, and then go down to the bottom of black gold.
Yeah.
You can do laps within the same area,
Yeah.
and it doesn't get harder.
Yeah. Just going down below after a tier. Yeah.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
Okay. Here is my performance. Could be better. I would like to use a bone coin with that as well. A 7, so middling. Right? Yeah, middling narrative bonus.
Yeah, I'm putting in a bone coin and 10 influence for now. I will increase that at some point.
So you're
But
putting in a bone coin. Okay.
literally taking from my character sheet into the yeah. I want
Um,
each companion, or sorry, each partner of mine to have one of the 3 of the fate currencies. So yeah. Ice is going to have bone coins. That's the plan.
okay. For my middling narrative bonus, I would like to get like when I'm trying to make this sound energy resonate, I'm able to notice when I guess the fate thread that is attaching Lar and his fated pair here starts to resonate. I would be able to notice that and keep that tone long enough to tune it.
Sure.
Okay. So you get one tuned sound
What?
energy.
Can I take influence off my character sheet as not influence, sorry. Narrative
Mhm.
points off my sheet to put into the sword?
Of course.
Okay. I'm going to put 2 narrative points as well.
Okay.
Okay. So one tuned.
Subtracting from character sheet.
Okay.
So that's all I'm putting into this sword, but that is to, I guess, point it in the right direction, basically. And that's tuned towards the fate strand between them.
You send the strand out. Just like a character in a storybook, it's kind of skipping along the road, and it looks at the dark woods and the trail that runs through it.
Mhm.
And the image that comes to both your minds is without the sanctuary, such attempts are not safe. And without a special room to reach out, ascending room, this could go badly. And a strand leads 2 ways, the 2-dimensional object.
Yeah.
So things can follow you home. And you guys are not even an infant sword cradle.
Okay.
You're an
Okay, so
embryonic sword
maybe
cradle.
we shouldn't do this.
So let's I think that's great. Let's stop here. but I'm still creating the spark. So I'm still finishing the sword.
Yeah, once you've put stuff on the sword, there's no take backsies. So
Exactly. But this is a starting point for a
But it's
red
already tuned towards the Fate Strand.
what do you want to name this sword that you put stuff in?
ice.
It's not a nice sword. It's just ice.
Faded.
Well, it's
faded to ice.
yeah.
Faded to meet ice.
Okay.
Okay, subtracting resources. Subtracting fake currency.
So that was 1 DTA. I kind of just want to do research and observation on these swords and the energies within them and how they're like. If anything is progressing within this like sword embryo as we're putting energy into it, or if it is, I guess, maturing on its own after we've put energy into it. Observing for like a couple of DTS, and I do get. While I'm in this room, the bonus. Well, I guess I'll be touching my waveform sword to get the research bonus to the sword from this. Is that an avenue that I may research here?
You may do all sorts of stuff in here, man. Go for it.
Okay, so I'll be right here, sitting and meditating upon my sword as well as the cradle itself. And what kind of check would it be to, I guess maybe like Psyniscience to get the vibe of the place? As in, like, how is it progressing? Is it progressing at all? And does it continue to mature after we've put energy into it on its own?
Sure.
So here's a Psyniscience. And that is...
So, in general, these swords do not grow without individual attention. Without sanctuary and without a special area in which the swords can grow on their own, unfortunately, not so much. They do grow infinitesimally when you're in the same room, but it's at such a small rate that it's almost negligible. Swords that are planted and are best off planted can grow passively under the right conditions, such as you think something like an array, maybe. But swords that are meant to be swung will only grow when swung.
Well, luckily none of these are swords.
True. But still,
Yeah.
the concept still applies to those
No, I get
particular
it.
vessels. So,
Okay. We could try to make a sanctuary.
I was thinking, this room is kind of small. Do you think we can like dig out some of the rock? It's just all granite, isn't it? It seems like the same material as the rooms.
It's far denser.
Okay.
I was barely able to see any further in once when I put more effort into seeing, hearing.
I mean, you could try.
I could.
Dense, it is correct, but they're all still mundane stone.
It's all mundane stone. Okay.
It's very dense, but it's still mundane stone.
Do we really need a bigger area or a more defined one? Because this place seems to want to become a sanctuary, and we do not have one.
I guess the question is, what makes a sanctuary? And that's the stuff I wanted to do in here while I had the opportunity.
Hmm. And perhaps we shouldn't be, I suppose, utilizing our tools before we fully understand them. Well, we can't without using them, I suppose, but
Hmm.
leaving some as blank slates.
Yes, I was just planning to take 3 total, besides my own sword, and then you guys could use the rest.
Sure. But perhaps there's something that you'd want to do differently with them once we know more.
Hmm.
I don't object to you taking more than taking 3 of them, rather. But we don't know exactly how that'll affect things,
True, it's true.
tying the fates to things. I want to.
Hmm.
Yes, yes.
You want to?
I'm gonna try to teach my sword as opposed to give it anything in particular that is like shoving it into the sword, because it already has sound energy and waveform key, and it has some
Yep.
enlightenments. I'm going to attempt to teach it my shield projection that I have. So maybe
Okay.
it can produce a sanctuary of its own.
It learns the shield projection in 1 DTS.
Okay.
It doesn't particularly have a lot of the resource to do it, but
It has enough.
Hmm?
It's got 30 sound energy. It's also got 2 qigong.
Mhm.
Um, can I instruct it, or I guess I could wield it? I can.
Mhm.
Since it's already learned that, and I can take the sword out in this area.
Yep. You can lift it up.
Okay, I will have it project a shield out to the edge of the cradle here.
Yeah, it projects a shield. Uses the resources.
Well, it doesn't use resources to project the shield. The shield is it's like a hard shield based on the amount of energy it has.
Boing.
Does this place feel more like a sanctuary, or is it just a
It
cave that
feels
now has a shield around
more
it?
protected, but not a sanctuary.
Okay. So it could shield, but it doesn't.
Is a sanctuary part of the sword in this case, Matt?
You're not sure? You'll have to ruminate on it.
Okay. Well, I already have research already created in this case, but let's see if I get the bonus for being in the cradle in this case, if it is related to the sword, because I wouldn't otherwise. So
Hmm.
I will spend a downtime action doing an int based ruminating on the what is a sanctuary, what makes one, and
Okay.
see if I get the bonus from Lyron's waveform sword for his
Okay.
his
You'll have to spend some time ruminating over sanctuary, but in a DTA, one thing that does come to mind is y'all are helpless here.
Mm-hmm.
There's no sufficient defense or defenders to qualify as, as a worthy perimeter or something that can actually legitimately protect you. Felt a
Right.
little bit safer when you put the barrier up, but that's paltry. Very insufficient.
Now hold on, it's like 90 hit points.
Mm-hmm.
Not super helpful.
So that's the first thing that comes to mind for a DTA. How many DTA would you like to spend?
Well, I have it my research as I think it's like 3 out of 50 right now. Or no, sorry, it's 12 out of 50.
Well, these are ruminations. These are like
okay, so it's not actually the research.
thoughts
right.
that flitter through your mind by just kind of focusing on the swords and what they need.
Okay.
This is not research. Research will definitely be something you're going to want to do. Like, how do you make that come to fruition? Or, like, what else can we do? Like, they'll go hand in hand, but a lot of the time just patrolling among the swords and listening.
Okay. I think the next thing I'll do in that case is I'll go over to my sword. And I take out my actual sword, my what's it called again? My traditional arming sword. Um, can I feed it to my red sword?
Sure can. Yum, 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 yum.
Okay.
You can add that sword stats to that sword.
Okay.
This will take the shape of an arming sword.
The traditional arming sword is the one that binds.
Yeah.
The spooky
With
one.
a
Yeah.
parry and catch.
Yeah. It has a special break within the sword, which then shatters it.
Okay.
Or takes those parts, and there's like a slime within it as well. Yeah, there was 2 options I had. It was either give it to the sword,
So yeah.
this was my second option for us. I'm going to use even further beyond. I'm going to use it on my Yang Qigong pool, which is going to overflow it. Now the question is, now that I have this overflow in this turn of mine, can I feed the overflow to my sword? And I'm completely fine with saying no to that, but it's just one of the things I was thinking of. It's like I'm not taking from the base.
10%.
10%?
10%. And in such a way that it won't have a negative backfire on you.
Okay. All right. Cool. So /R 299 divided by or times in this case 0.1. So let's say 29.
30. This is
Or
just
30.
30.
30. All right.
It's fine.
So the arming sword also has 30 Yang Qigong.
Pretty good.
Okay. So one thing you could do too, Matt, is that I can't do this again. It's like the one time use. If you'd rather it be that way too, like I can only give one of that type of qigong to a sword at a time.
Sure.
In this
I
method.
mean, we can just do this one. Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Guys are
Alright.
going around doing your thing.
Okay. I would like to, I guess, make a logic test here and see, based on what was being put in, come up. Well, I'm also going to do some mathematics.
Mhm.
I guess my understanding of artifice. I'll pull out the Archimedes stopwatch, the timepiece that I have.
Mhm.
I want to know if my sword could currently consume this or integrate it. Let me make a couple of checks. That's I don't have logic mastery yet, so that's 20 there. And then
Ruminating on your
here.
sword. A weapon, the one you swing, will have far more powerful if you limit what it has. But an effigy, when you plant, can have all sorts of things.
And it's currently leaning towards not
You
really
have
being a weapon.
energy and sound. Now you're trying to add a time aspect. You're not really a time practitioner.
So I
I'm
would say
not.
it's a progress aspect, right? Or is it the same thing?
Well, it duplicates DTS. It isn't even necessarily progress with it.
Okay.
So probably not something to go into the waveform sword. But we could use one of the blank slates to put it in there. But I don't really understand the timepiece itself, I suppose.
We'll see.
Is the idea. I've got. I don't really want to use that.
This is dirt we're standing on right now, right?
Correct.
So
It doesn't go down very far. Probably about 4 inches of dirt before
yeah.
it's dirt or rock again.
Okay. Question. So with my recreation card, I know I'm currently red stringed with that artifact. But the knowledge I would have received from the Conflux level 10, from the Spring sect and their alchemy farming and whatnot, I would still
Yeah,
have
what
the
the?
knowledge from that individual, correct? That's not that's not stripped away. I was just thinking about the farming books I gave them, and they should have probably already finished that. So I was just thinking of like turning this dirt we have, uh, cultivating the soil. Was pretty much what I was thinking.
Sure. If you want.
Yeah. So pretty much what I'll do is I'll take out my traditional my red sword and start kind of digging into the soil and just working it. I guess that's what I plan to do.
Okay. And be putting that in. As you're going through, you will cut your hands on all sorts of sword debris.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
There's a lot of also highly oxidized sword rust all over the place. You might get tetanus. Oh no.
Lockjaw's bad. Uh, that's an interesting aspect. Perhaps we should.
I think this is like the
Oh,
fertilizer for the swords.
perhaps. But maybe we
Well,
should limit what the swords are eating,
Hmm.
consuming, or perhaps this is poisoning them. If it's oxidized, it's
Well,
generally not good for a sword.
we have a poison sword here. Couldn't that suck up that aspect?
what you could tell, and you probably will consult the spring sect. That is sword nutrients.
Yeah.
But it also tells you how much time you have left. A more powerful sword will draw much faster on
Right.
the nutrients you have, and you have one particularly powerful sword
Correct.
in
That's tier
comparison.
1. Yeah.
hmm
So
Ironically, you don't need like a Dow weapon. You just need sword
weapon.
bits.
Yeah.
So if you have a bunch of random swords in an inventory, you can either bury them or break them
hmm
and put them here.
What is a sword right now? But I do have a tuning fork. Not
Mm.
not my. I've got a bunch of tuning forks actually.
Well, technically, since you don't have swords, swords are a lie. You could technically feed it any metal.
Right.
Yeah. So I'll just plant a few tuning forks into the ground near my waveform.
They will be
sword.
destroyed, by the way.
Yeah, they're not. They're like mundane tuning forks.
Okay, great.
But the idea of them exists, I suppose.
Wait, are you putting them in the ground, like burying them, or are you planting them like spring onions around
Planting
your
them like
sword?
spring onions around my sword.
Okay. You can add 1 growth factor to your sword. It will take. Growth factor will take about 6 months at its current rate to provide a power increase.
Okay. So pretty much
Oh.
the time it takes for the next fight. Okay.
You pretty sure you could speed it up somehow, but that's the current growth rate it's at.
So we'll
It'll take
place
6 months to grow
those
1 tier.
so that the harmonious tuning forks are, I guess, opposite of each other. We'll do 6 of them, each harmonious notes opposite of each other. And I'm going to use my performance to make them resonate with each other.
Yeah, sing at
All of
them. I
them.
think that's a great way
Yes,
to
I'm going to be singing at my sword here for a DTS.
little lullaby for the cradle.
You want to sing at your sword? You can. Your
Yep.
sword, not sword. How long are you gonna do that for?
A DTS. Ooh, that was a 2. Hold on, can we? I can't change it by 1, but let me see. I don't have anything in my adapts anymore.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's close is the positive quality. Pick a skill, and then you can re-roll it once per scene. And then that also is like if it's 4 or less, though, you
You can't reroll it, yeah.
Yeah, but you could spend merit on it, I suppose, at that point.
I don't have merit at the
Go
moment,
ahead
so
and add resonance growth. 1 out of 500.
1 out of 500.
Yep, you'll have to sing to them 499 more times for that
This
to
is
grow.
1 DTA or
It was 1
full
DTS, you
DTS?
said.
Full DTS, okay.
You could definitely feel the sword grow, but these are very slow methods.
Yeah,
But you're at least you have found ways to grow the sword if you're willing to spend that amount of time. Now these aren't small growths, by the way.
yeah, it's a sword
Any
tier, I'm
growth
guessing.
factor grows at a tier.
Which might not be a good thing at this point because we don't have a sanctuary yet. But if it grows up a tier, it knows how to make a shield. It might help make the sanctuary. I guess I could defeated a truth crystal lattice, but I have no idea what a truth crystal actually does.
Well, it's also for your truth crystal formation. That is one thing to keep in
Yeah.
mind.
And it has some tribulation in it too, doesn't it? The sword. It's got the Taiji one. So this is actually also aligned with Taiji as well. Because it has a Taiji insight as well as the
Sure.
sound enlightenment. Um,
I'm going to spend another DTS ruminating. I think that's 3 total. So that's 9 DTS.
also at 9, I think. Yeah, I'm at 9 after doing this performance. Oh. Oh, I do have a truth matrix from the cutting the moon, but that wasn't what I was thinking of using.
Anyone want to use an insight?
Yeah, I would like to use a sword insight, actually. See, I guess, help with my ruminations of what exactly we're missing here to make this a proper sanctuary, proper sword sanctuary. Like, it needs protection, but
Mhm.
we also don't have resources here. So does the room itself,
So,
does it take an intent and take form? I guess.
well, usually the sanctuary has some sort of leadership position. You have that covered. You have a predominant sword, and it only gains that when it is the strongest sword. You also need a protector. The
what I was
one most
thinking from-
qualified so far is Sword is Lie, but that's an effigy, and it can't, in its current state, defend.
So if I would have gave that that sword to the Sword of Lie instead, that might have been a better. Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of different methodologies you can use. An effigy makes things really easy because it can be here in the place that you aren't,
Right. It still stays for the sanctuary.
and still stays. But if you have someone who wields the sword as a protector, if there's no protector on active rotation, then unfortunately the sanctuary is disbanded the moment you don't have an active protector.
Right.
So it can be a bit tough. Certain swords are also don't play well with others. You have one sword in particular that doesn't play well with any of them, and will eventually consume the rest, which is the poison sword, which means it needs its own room. Without that, you can never form sanctuary because you have disharmony among your swords. You can solve disharmony among the swords by separating specific sword bodies or sword vessels into their own micro realms, micro domains, which are just different rooms.
Okay.
As for what you'll need for sanctuary, you'll need to ruminate a little bit more on it, but you have found that you need a protector, something that can either attack or defend, but specifically is there to protect the sword cradle. It needs to be on duty at all times.
Mhm.
You can have more than one, but it has to qualify. You should be very picky about what you have selected as a defender or protector, because certain effigies can play support. Because sword equals like in both is both qualified as a powerful support effigy. It could be also a powerful what is called a doctrine effigy, which has its own unique little place. And those are hard to get. You can also, it's most qualified currently out of all the swords to be a protector. The problem with the poison sword is it is disharmonious with the rest of the other swords, so it can't be a protector because it's in disharmony.
That's easy. Let's just destroy the sword.
Or both.
Or both.
It's not like it's his lifeline either.
Yeah. So there's a lot you can do. The swords will eat any other sword. That's the thing. You can grow other swords to just be fed to other swords. So do be careful about proximity. If you have one sword that is particularly not a nice fellow, and you
Can't
have
make a
him
room
surrounded
yet.
by a lot of little baby swords, he will eat them.
Right.
I can actually use the waveform sword right now to make a room for the poison sword. I can put a hard shield around it, as it is less powerful, as opposed to the whole room. So it is then separate.
It would need its own room.
Yeah, but we don't have its own room yet.
Yeah, you'll have to make one.
Hmm.
So a lot of the stuff that you're going to be interacting with is kind of almost a sword nest, and all of the different interactions between the swords in it. They're still inanimate objects, but certain ones, when they have gained enough power, have features, ego fragments, predilections. Some swords can also nurture others. As it cultivates, it nurtures all the others around it. So
Yeah, that's what I
there's a lot you
was
can do.
planning to do with the sword array for fated to meet ice, and then metal, and then dark. I was going to utilize those like three.
But it will only nurture swords of those types. It won't
Yeah.
nurture everything.
No, exactly. That's what I was going to have like a separate room for my
Sure.
Yang sword.
But you're going to
then
need a sword for
three
each
Yangs.
of those. And
Yeah, yeah. That was the plan. I was going to have two other swords and then make a sword array.
Would like to study this wall for a DTS, like explore further in the straight ahead direction to see if there's anything further out or if it's just solid stone as far as I can go. So
Hey,
I did
Lyron.
pierce the moon.
Too bad we weren't dwarves. I bet there's some good swords deep inside the stone.
I'm currently searching it out.
Good luck. I know you got this.
So here is the awareness that I will be doing for, unless you want 6 awarenesses.
yeah, just give me an awareness.
There's an awareness, and that's specifically going out in the forward direction from me, so up.
The stone
For DPS.
looks at some point like it had been collapsed. Like there was a cavernous space here at one point, but the stone came down. And it's been quite a long time, to the point where it looks like it's a solid wall again. But I mean, yeah, there's in certain places gaps and pockets.
Okay. So I too am at, so I'm at 10 DTS now. Going to 11 DTS. I will spend the entire time. We're going to do some mathematics checks, and then a single swing with my normal swing to attempt to hit a specific point to, I guess, fracture like a straight line through the wall. Let's see.
And you're taking your wave sword form to do this, right? With your normal swing?
I don't know if it's strong enough to be swung.
Okay.
I was going to attempt it with just my real nice rapier.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay. And you're just stabbing the stone in front of you?
yeah, give me a sec. I'm
Normal
not just
swing.
stabbing it. I'm normal
Yeah.
swinging it, but I'm going to spend a whole DTS of analysis as to the exact point that I need to hit it and how to hit it, which I can hit it perfectly with movement mechanics to make like a fracture in such a way that I want, which is just a straight line ahead of me, basically.
Okay. Blap.
I normal swing it.
You blow up a rock.
I was trying not to blow up the rock, but split it cleanly.
I removed it. You have defeated the rock. In whichever way
Okay.
you wanted to defeat the rock.
Is any iron in that rock?
No.
Okay. Sevelair is going to assess the room and look for different materials that might be in the rock. Unless it's all rock, then that's fine. See if there's any different types of polygons around. Spend some key on this. 50, 58. I've done my assess.
Okay.
42 degrees of success
For which?
on the rocks, looking
Oh,
around the room to see
they're
if
all
there's
just
any,
big boulders.
just big boulders, eh? Are there
Yeah,
any?
there's caverns and tunnels. You also see another sword.
Oh,
It's going to be in the very bottom left. It's a big sword. It's over here.
okay.
But there's a ton of room behind these rocks for you guys to do stuff.
I figured as much. I'll let Lyra know about that one. It's like, oh, Lyra, I think there's a big sword over that way.
Oh,
So there's more to these rooms than meet the eye.
I wonder if there's more cradles. I guess I could start going towards that sword.
I imagine there's cradles around for the other contestants as well.
I think that we're pretty disconnected from them. I think going the direction of no sound is the way to connect from our would-be sanctuary.
I see. Well, Sevelair is going to infuse sword energy into his hand and start carving out the rock.
I guess I should start learning sword energy. Just karate chopping it.
I'm doing some swings.
But do you have your destructive nature to it? It's a really hard rock.
Yeah, I mean that's my break aspect of my sword. So
Bong, 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 bong.
I just start carving away. Hiya! Hiya! Oh man, this is quite good work, Lyron.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm gonna spend the DTS that. Well, I guess I was studying the rock and then hitting it once while Lar decided to go do this. For a DTS, I'm assuming. Huh.
I'm putting the extra rock into my storage ring, so I'm not like keeping the
Ooh.
place.
We're getting stuff revealed. That goes off. Lara's just doing that. Is this a DTS that he gets this all done in?
Yeah.
This sword energy? I probably could have gone faster, but
I have that thing about my sword, my path sword, which is break.
yep.
So it makes armor piercing and durability. I'm not too big of an issue.
I'm gonna take my waveform sword and be studying since I am
About as
not
much as you can
needed.
clear it in DTS. It still takes a while.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yep. Okay. Noticing this incredible use of sword energy, I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to do that. I'm good at energy. So and the sword makes me better at learning the sword.
Resonate with me, Lyron. Maybe you
Oh.
can get something as I'm utilizing
I
my
know we've
sword.
been together for a while, but I don't think you're really my type.
Oh my goodness, Lyron. I mean, look at my sword energy inside of me.
Oh,
I'm going to
wow,
utilize
look at that sword energy.
I know, it's quite large.
Fairly large.
I know, it's all about perspective, I suppose. All right. So Savalaire will pick up his arming sword, and then he will start using sword energy to work through it. So I'm going to pretty much flex my sword energy through my sword and a motion of the swing. And Lyron, don't think too much about the sword swing itself. You're perfect at that. Just think about the energy that's flowing through it and how it's coming through in and out of my core as I breathe.
Okay, I'll do an awareness check to, I guess, study the energy of the sound of the sword energy.
Would that be an awareness or a scrutiny test? Not a scrutiny, sorry, a cognitions test.
Could do either. It'd probably be sentience. But it is with sound, and can I actually use, in this case, my sound portfolio with Signitions, since my Daredevil can pick up energy now?
Yeah, you can learn a little bit about it, but it's sharp. Not enough to cut yourself on it yet, but it's sharp. That energy. So, gotta be a little careful around it.
Oh, I'm good at taking in new energies.
This isn't
Oh.
one that you would take from Lar. This
I
is
wasn't
one that you
taking it,
resonating.
but
Yeah, resonating.
yeah.
No.
Have a go. Like, pick up your sword while you're doing this, Lyra. And kind
Yeah, I
of
was holding
follow with me.
Okay, I will follow along with Lar perfectly.
Well, that's just how Lar moves. So,
It's the sword energy that I'm flowing through my body as I'm swinging the sword. That's what he's focusing on.
Yeah, I'm focusing on that, but I don't have.
You can move the energy, but there's something critically missing. There's something about the sharpness that's missing. Like moving the energy is not hard, at least for you. Other people would be very hard, but for you, it moves.
Yeah, but it's not sword energy.
It's not sword energy. Yeah.
I do have a martial enlightenment of the sword.
You do, but
Just to
those
save
are not
that.
easy to come by.
Safe.
I'm aware. How did you get your energy?
Battle. That's how I got mine. Battle and fate. I think it's more of you need to hone that energy, and I don't know if you applying it through a sharp swing would do that on how you.
Now, does this count as sword research? Because we get plus 30 progress to that. Or sword training? I guess training also applies here.
Training would be what you're doing.
Because I'm learning from Lar.
Yeah.
That's a lot of progress per DTA then. Of him trying to teach me that, and I guess I'm observing and then also trying to practice what he is doing with the movement of the energy. And after a DTS, that is. Give me a second. Because this is a sword training, I have to actually roll all of these weapon skill tests. Or I don't have to, but I'm not going to be using movement mechanics or normal swing since I'm following along with him. So I need to roll 7 that are less than 50. Two successes, but I can re-roll each of those with fatigue. So that's 1, 2. Okay, 3 successes. 3, not a success. 4, that is a success. Okay. So I ended up changing 2 of the. So I got 4 of the 7 successes, which is a lot of progress. For a DTS. Especially with my ability to learn sword-related things. Give me a second. That's 4. Is this a core cultivator technique? Sword energy.
This is not called with sword energy. There is something going on. Something missing.
Well,
An
I'm
essential
researching right
piece.
now what this missing piece is.
Um,
And that was 1400 progress from that DTS.
feels like you're missing experience. Feels like you're missing a significant portion of the cultivator aspect, rather than just being good at swinging the sword. There's a few more parts to it. Don't you know?
Yep. Still a lot of progress, though.
It's a lot of progress. You'll need
Which is not
to
the same as
undergo the same process that Lara has gone. You only need to undergo a path of the sword, and kind of follow the sword doctrine. And unfortunately, your teacher has a different viewpoint on swords in general.
Yep.
And is not very helpful on the aspect of, oh yes, there's a human aspect to the sword. And well, your master's like, does there need to be?
Nah, that's stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid. So that's what you're kind of looking at. You've got kind of a lot going on with Lar. There's some also interesting twists of energy in the way the energy coalesced. He's also folded it. It's denser.
Hmm.
It's a lot denser than you expected. So sword energy actually takes a good bit of extra steps to get to the bottom of.
Yeah. No, I didn't think I'd get sword energy here. I just
You can see it though. You can see that there's the missing steps because
okay. So I
Lara's
can
not too
see
far ahead.
what I need to figure out
Mhm.
to get there.
Yeah,
Very
Lara's not
different path,
so
but
far ahead that you can't like actually devise where to begin.
okay. Can I spend a DTS? I guess meditating upon what the sword means to my character.
Sure, that's always a thing you can do.
Okay. And I would like to try to tie that into. Is that influence then for the meditation?
Hmm. No. It'll
Or
be
that's when I want
a
to internalize it, basically.
internalize it. No, that's you're trying to
I'm trying to
view it.
find. Yeah, I'm trying to find the what it means to me first, and then I'm assuming once when I figure that out,
Well, that's just you
internalizing its
spending time to
influence.
meditate, and you as a player figuring out what the heck that is for you as not the player.
Yes, yes.
So.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I'm spending a DTS to really think on that as character. Um,
You can spend as much DTS trying to figure out that out as you want.
mhm. Really, the blade is just an extension of my ability to bring harmony, which is also destructive. Like not harmony in the sense of being together, but harmony in the sense of uh, sound harmony or destructive harmony, resonance. So it is a way to
Scientific style blade.
yes, a way to I guess inflict that upon what I am hitting easier.
Okay.
I'm going to spend some time figuring out if this is similar to this soil or is it only in this section that has the nutrients. Like, is it more if we work way over there, or like how does the soil
Both
like?
filled with broken and chipped sword pieces.
All right, so we do have more to work with instead of just this one area. Wonderful. Okay.
So also the end point for Lara's sword path of sword breaking is very
Mhm.
similar to the resonant sword path. They both break things, just in very different ways. Like you're looking for break points, I'm looking for I guess, instability? Not just in specific spots, but in the material as a whole.
Could be. You're looking for really a harmony, a frequency. There's many ways to go about it, just like as there's many ways to go about breaking something.
Yep.
So, it can be rather difficult to surmise. But you do know that, does it have to be just about breaking?
It isn't, no, because harmony could also help conduct energy or sound through something without damaging it. Which is the whole point of the harmony, is that I could hit something and the thing behind it gets affected.
Mhm.
Laren's not really thinking about this philosophically.
Yeah, Larry.
Nor would he really do that, I don't think. So whatever the sword energy that he's trying to cultivate would be, he figures it needs to be adaptive so that it could harmonize with other sword energy to disrupt it, basically, as well. Because if I could change the frequency of my sword energy, so to speak, hit somebody else's sword energy with it, and that point, you could destroy it. In which case, I will start ruminating on the rebel frequency itself to see. Maybe it isn't just about harmony, but just
It slaps you the
frequencies
moment
in
you
general.
look at it. It's like, don't look at me. That's right. I'm a rebel. I'll fight you. Arr.
I'll start fighting it.
All right, you just have this kind of cartoon anime, like kind of brawl. There's a bunch of dust that gets kicked up. You both find yourself at distance. You have this like shaped bandages on your heads.
Oh, that was not the kind of fight I was expecting. So I was gonna keep on looking at it.
Okay.
Study it a bit more, because it destroys everything that it's like touching or
Yep.
exists with. And that's useful.
Yes, it
But
is.
also I want to figure out like why it does that, because it's not harmonious with anything.
Yeah, it's not harmonious at all.
And if it's not like a harmonious frequency with an object, it's not supposed to be particularly destructive. I guess, unless it's a lot of it, which I guess it is a lot of it, but that's not fundamentally what's happening there, I don't think. It's not just hitting it with a bunch of energy to break a thing. It just breaks things by nature.
Well, I'm gonna
Just-
send a DTA and work on just clearing stuff out. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Aha!
While you work
DTA
on
or
your
DTS?
DTS, sorry.
Yep. Need to find more harmony with my harmonizing, harmonious.
Okay. I do want to ask though, how far do we want to go without Poe?
That's an excellent question.
Because we can go the whole session.
Because we're also
Oh.
together right now, and he might have valuable insight or want to join us for the rest of this. We could end early.
Yeah. So I want to ask you guys because we can do whatever you fellows want to do at the end of the day. But
Look, and I don't think he'd mind either way, but probably good to have him for.
especially if you guys are starting to train on learning Lars' insight into the sword, because he is definitely way ahead of you guys.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you guys want to efficiently have when you guys try and learn it, you guys do it at the same time,
Why don't we just
or
focus on something else then instead of the sword stuff?
Yeah, but I think clearing the sanctuary is also kind of a. It isn't a sanctuary. Clearing this area to make a sanctuary is kind of a thing that we might want
I mean,
Poe
it'll
here
take
for as well.
him 3 more DTS to clear it out. Just hitting stuff.
Yeah, so you could clear it out. I don't think Poe is going to be that helpful with that. But I feel like we could also use some holy geometrics to make this place into a proper sanctuary as well.
Is
could.
his travel to that holy geometrics place, is that locked off?
It'll have a red string on it.
Okay.
So you'd have to do it in real time.
One thing I wanted to do was I wanted to find a place so Chung Po could put his sword, the unharmonious poison blade.
Sure.
I also think that spreading out some of these swords when I clear out this area is a great idea, especially since it's not all taking the nutrients in one section. Another thing I wanted to do is I wanted to get 2 other blades with darkness and metal, and I wanted to give them both fate point and influence, and I wanted to bring my sword to a section with them to make a type of array in a sense that they work off of each other in a balance in a sense. Um,
You have a limited amount of swords. What do you
mhm,
need for the sanctuary rather than what an individual needs?
correct.
Because getting additional stone swords could be easy, or it could be very hard.
Right. So I think just having the contrast between those two is the best thing for now. I don't have to add extra right this second. I want to, but it's not like you said. I don't. It's we don't need to do that immediately. Um, we need a protector sword, and we could use the sword of the lie for that one.
It also has room to be 2 other things that the others are not.
Yep.
Doctrine.
And those are things we could work on instead of just working on sword energy.
Hmm.
But yeah, in the meantime, I'm gonna dig out Lyron. Do you still want to work on the harmony aspect for your sword?
I mean, while you're digging it out, probably, and if you come back and give me different instruction, because I.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll work on digging out in the meantime.
There. If you want, you can draw with the. Actually, I'll have to reveal the whole map first, but um, you'll be able to like kind of tell me where you want stone to not be destroyed, so you
Mhm.
can make like rooms or something if you like.
Yeah, I was thinking of a room around here, which then leads over this way. Then we have this one that's going this way, which then leads this way. And I was thinking one that way, and then one that leads down this way again.
And you also wanted to go find the big sword, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was moving over here for.
Uh, Yeah, I'd forgotten you kind of like did a super murder to the rocks. This is a matter of time. There you go.
Thank you.
Hmm. There's a sword. Is it dead? Is it alive? I guess you haven't had a chance to
It
study.
looks like it is an extra large sword vessel, but it is also inert.
Careful. The rocks. They're moving in to attack.
Yep.
Extra large sword vessel. So is it already like big enough to hold a tier higher of not sword energy, but being a higher tier sword?
Not sure on that. Hard to expect something out of that.
Since it
It
doesn't
is
have-
basically a. The vessel has room for more in it. That doesn't mean it's better. It just has more room.
It's
Mhm.
probably the best one for the wealth vessel.
You guys do have a lot of well.
And for the imbuement altar. I think that's probably the best one for that, in my opinion.
Yep, I'd agree. It's big. You can put money in things. Big
And
things
it's
for
also
money.
out of the way.
Yeah, we can't really move it right now.
I'm not going to activate it yet. Just something to think about, and kind of my choice for that.
Hmm. Actually,
Actually,
I've got something that might make us able to make a sanctuary. I've got some fear and terror energy from our DAO discussion with the. By the way, is our friend here, our demon beast friend, has he managed to slip in here? I'm gonna look around at the corners to see if he's peeking out.
Well, you see him for a brief moment, and then a snake grabs him, and you hear, "You're coming with me. You train with the sword too."
perfect.
Wait, he's one of our companions.
I know,
Ah,
but he is not one of you.
I suppose that's true.
And the way they say "you," it's more. It's like you is in how you best learn the sword, or the methodologies in which you could learn the sword in some way.
Okay.
So, being a mythical creature, they would probably learn it differently, which is that's the type of you that you were getting from that particular description.
Okay.
So I think Chung Pose should go over here. I think I will
You would
take.
have to move it though,
Yeah, I'm not
and-
going to move it for.
and it's not in a stage in which it can be moved yet.
Exactly.
Yeah, just my sword, right? Except that can't be taken out of the cradle, or is this whole place the cradle?
Cradle's in the middle.
Okay.
At least for now.
But at least we have the same. I guess we could, if that's
Make
the
soil.
case too, is we could dig it. You know what I mean? We can dig it and bring it over here. But it seems that we at least have other resources we can rely upon in the ground. It's not
Hmm.
all
And
over the place.
it is mundane stone, so I could shake it apart into soil.
Oh yes. think it's more of the fertilizer. I was more.
Well, there's sword bits all over the place too.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
yeah. Hmm. But I kind of want to put the terror and fear energy into one of these swords. I also want to figure out a way to project it out rather than make us constantly in terror and fear here.
Should you
But
put
make
that
it
one in the sword as a lie then? Or do you want to put it in one of the other
put it in the
inerts?
sword and the lie.
I guess we also think of it like it's going to affect us too, the fear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is I'd like to project it out to make it kind of like a sense of foreboding when you come close to our place.
Maybe it's best to be a new inert then, with the doctrine in this case being fear of what you're walking into, and the of fear of the protector.
Foreboding. Oh, fear the
Foreboding.
protector. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys don't
And
have the
it could be
protection yet, though.
It could be the protector, and it's just intimidation at this point. Is what I was thinking. With the fear and terror energy to make it like a killing intent that is around this place for those who are not part of the sanctuary that it is creating. In which case, I would need to I guess the energy could be tuned in the way that I managed to tune the fate here, so that it is excluding us. So outsiders, because I could tune it to our swords. And in some way make it so that the terror and fear is of us as opposed to we're also feeling it.
It would also kind of be like Eye of the Storm kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Myron, with your sword knowledge, you could also make it so that you have a sword effigy that grows a fear aura. The more you are victorious.
Yep, and it's already got 3 terror and fear, so it might be enough to be a bit of a deterrent, which might help make the sanctuary.
But it's also extremely noticeable. So, with your intelligence, if you activate this, it will be a clarion call. Like, stay away! We're here! Oh, well,
We're spooky.
found somebody.
It's like, oh hey, there's a spooky person over there. They probably got spooky stuff that I can take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there may be sword practitioners who are reckless or even suicidal. Like, they don't have fear.
I guess this terror energy is actually a compound energy. It was making people feel lost. Could I instill, since both Laura and I have already triumphed over that Dao battle that we had there, I got it from that Dao battle. Could I instill this energy or this area with that Dao discussion using the energy so that if people come in, they feel lost and hopeless?
I like
What were the 10 things?
I think we would kind of need his. I think we
I
would
have
need
his energy.
Oh, okay. I figured it was more.
I have that experience.
Okay.
Well, it's the energy from his Dao that I acquired.
Yeah. I also have some critical failure of fear as well. Fear flavored. I could put like 50 out of my 100 into that as well.
Yeah, we could put those 2 into there, and then it would be our shared experience of that. But then Poe would have to overcome it as well. In which case, it wouldn't really be a beacon so much as if you enter this area, you have to go through that. Would be the idea that we're trying to do here. So it's something that we could maybe recreate with a sword effigy plus our resources we got from that Dao discussion. as
Hmm.
well as our knowledge of it. Matt.
Again, you're not sure how to implement this fear energy the way you're trying to yet. You'll have to research or experiment.
I think we have the components necessary for it, though. It's just a matter of intent, I think, is what's lacking here.
And we don't have sanctuary, so we can't montage, right? That's kind of the thing we're missing.
Yeah, but also,
The cradle works for your waveform sword. That we get that. That's the cradle aspect, but not
yeah,
sanctuary.
so I can't provide you the benefits of montaging.
I mean, it's okay. I'm just trying to think of other ways we could do things. I was just also thinking about Chung Po and his montage
I think
hero.
making the sanctuary will be real easy with Chunpo.
Mhm.
Because if we make a sword with the intent
You also
of
put fear into his poison. People naturally fear poison on such a level that, you know, even people who are like, I'm resistant to fear. But it's like, but there's poison. Ooh, okay, hold on. You didn't say there was poison.
I did
Yeah,
now.
that's
Well,
right.
now I'm kind of
Yeah.
afraid a little bit, you know. I think it might be easy if we put holy geometrics into a sword, tell it that's a protector, so that it projects the holy geometrics in the way that we want it to. Because it kind of, like with the shine field, when you put holy geometrics on that, it worked as the shine field. So if we have a sword that is a protector, the holy geometrics will work as a.
The only one thing I think about
Protector.
that is I don't think Sword is a Lie works in this case because Holy Geometrics is the opposite of a lie.
Yeah, well, I don't think the sword is a lie is the thing we're using for the
Oh
sanctuary.
no, that's not what I meant. I suppose maybe it would overwhelm depending on its tier. That's just one
Well,
thing to think about. Yeah,
the sword isn't the only thing that needs to protect.
it's true. Um,
Hmm.
would we be making Chung Po's sword though the protector in this case?
I don't think it'd be Chumpo's sword. Because if
Just for
one
the
of our swords is a protector, then we would have to be here to be the sanctuary.
Mhm.
I think it might be a good stopping point now, and then we could just discuss further as to what we want to do with that.
Okay.
Maybe throughout the week, as well as letting Poe get in on
Yep.
this action
Need a
afterwards.
protector for sure. You need to. So let's put it in Discord. Let's do some sanctuary requirements. Discovered can't spell. Requirements. Need a full-time protector. Have this harmony. The sword.
I realize I taught my sword the shield projections. We could just hand it to Lar, and he can give us like 40,000 shield.
Wah.
Wow.
I mean, we can look this as like I'm the bird protecting the nest. I could be just stay here the entire time. No problem.
And just have Poe and I go out and murder people.
Yeah.
All right. These are the two you've discovered. You need that. Thank you, thank you.
Of course.
We'll continue next week with him.
Unless
I
you wanted to
think
continue, but I feel
I'm
like
gonna-
it's a good stopping point.
I'm gonna work on a project.
You don't want to bow.
Not right now. I'll bow out later.
Okay.
I also got to figure out if John's showing up tonight.
I think it wasn't he saying that he wasn't going to show up.
I'm gonna double check because the last time he said he wasn't, he did.
Ugh.
I just need to double check. John, no schedule change. I also have a project that I really want to work on. I'm expanding the main storyline's weapon quality list.
Okay.
So I've added the super rare ones, such as Insidious, Unseen, Enshrouded, Innocuous, Unobtrusive.
Not intrusive. I think that's maybe one that I have.
Unobtrusive makes it look like a mundane object
Yeah.
at all times,
Yeah,
unless
that's
they
one.
actually get their hands on it and then roll a Cognitions test. Yeah.
Does
But they-
my sword have unobtrusive then? I guess during
Which one?
the slot machine sword that I got.
The sheath does.
The
The
sheath,
sheath
does,
makes
yeah.
the sword unobtrusive while it's in the sheath.
Yep.
But the sword, when it's in motion outside the sheath, does unfortunately not possess the unobtrusive quality. It is pretty noticeable, actually.
I'm sure.
Yeah. But yeah, been working on that. Been working more on space combat. That's kind of a fun little thing. I'm working on a new line of weapons, and for a specific raid coming up in another group, they're going to get what they deserve if they walk in without making any prep. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, but they've got to make prep, right? That's a. They do that. They got to.
Up on the fly.
Well,
Yeah, I'll prepare.
they did, for the first raid they came across, they did an exceptional amount of prep, which is why they cleared it so well. And then the second one, 3 people jumped in because it was a hole with no prep. I killed 2. And the third one, they did it again. They went in without any prep, and I killed another one. And then they stopped doing that, and I'm like, my gamers,
You've learned
you've learned finally.
after regressing from the first one that you did of preparing, and then I guess
Yep.
you assumed that it was easy because you prepared.
Well, it wasn't easy, but they had a huge, almost overwhelming advantage because of all the preparation they did. And I've
Mhm.
built a nomenclature system in that particular module around the difficulty and the dangers, specifically around certain activities. There are dungeons that you can go into, but I'm using the Destiny 2 term for dungeons. It's a specific series of locations that it is difficult, but you could freeball it. You could just go in and be like, I'm just gonna be the biggest Chad, and I'm just gonna beat this thing a first try without any prep. They're doable. Doesn't mean it's easy, but it's doable. Raids, on the other hand, if you don't do any prep, I don't explain shit. I just give you stacks, or certain things start to affect your character sheet, and I'm like, figure it out. And it's at a relentless rates at certain times where it's like, why am I getting these stacks? Why is it getting so high? I'm like,
Well, that kind of happened with us during the zombie area, which lower power campaign. So where it's like,
Well,
oh,
you
you're
guys were
starting to
able
get some
to.
stuff.
That was
Figure it out.
You guys were able to figure it out.
But
and
I
that
can
was
imagine
also
they
just a
stick it as
test.
instead doing something way worse.
Yeah, I mean, the several characters have died because they touched stuff. And they're like, I'm just gonna touch it because I think I'm strong and my character sheet's great. I'm like, no take backsies. I'm not confirming that you've touched it. You said you touched it. Last time I checked, your armor is insufficient for what's about to happen to you. And they're like, but this is the best armor I've ever gotten. Did I say insufficient? Woefully insufficient. But yeah, that's my my Sunday game. They got through some content, and yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm gonna work on some stuff in general for New Threat, and then I gotta work on some. The version 11, I'm starting to creep on it. Because there are some changes I do want to make to the core system, but overall it's working pretty okay. Yeah. Might want to play around with some of the threshold stuff. Do you guys feel like the thresholds are like the rewards for thresholds and the qualities from the thresholds that they're
Worth it?
good?
I try to make a conflicts around it.
Well, I've had a complex around that before. I'm trying to lean away from it.
Yeah, well, so I kind of referenced Jackie's a bit, but it functioned pretty fundamentally differently.
Yeah.
Just similar end result.
This particular module, I'm trying to lean away from confluxing the threshold because when we originally did that was like version 6.
Oh, I'm just saying, I think that they're worth it. I was willing to spend 50 merit to make it easier to get them.
Yeah, but at the same
I mean,
time.
no, make them more powerful. What do you think, Lar? They're woefully underpowered, right?
The thing is for a lot of the stuff I'm trying to do for this module, I'm trying to have that your Tao and what you pursue is
most of the power that
also
you're getting
in theme.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
could
the way I
probably
look
do
at character growth. Which aspect of which pillar is your character? Are you more of a spirit-based guy, a swiftness-based guy,
He
a
does have
mind-based guy?
Taiji.
Yeah,
if he
so I'm
does
doing.
build it in such a way that he builds a conflux with the center of Taiji, and then he uses energy and sound harmonics to resonate with the thresholds, that I would be more likely to allow because it's along the theme of your Tao. And a lot of the stuff going forward, even merit purchases, because if that's the way that I'm trying to run this module, certain things I'll just say, unfortunately, that's kind of out of your Tao. You'll have to pick it up in game rather than being able to purchase it on the fly with merit. And that'll become more and more narrow in what you can and can't do as you play the game and your character
And
gets
so we
stronger.
solidify our.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
path.
merit is supposed to amplify things you already have. Right? So if you don't have anything, find it in a game, select it, or build powers based on what you have. But at the beginning, you're all kind of like blank slates, and the which way every path you're going is increasing. So it's easier to grab energies or things of that nature and put it towards your character sheet.
Just do whatever we want with it.
Yeah, but once we get into it, especially when you have a DAO name already, kind of like things towards that would make sense.
Well, and I feel like that's perfectly reasonable because you warned us ahead of time that, hey, the further you go, the harder it is going to be to incorporate different things.
Yeah, so if you build a conflux around thresholds that's specifically around sound and energy, kind of like you would do over reverberation, when you gain points towards the threshold, you may gain an extra D10 or something. Like there's a follow-up echo, or when you if you reach a threshold, you get energy towards your max health.
Yep.
So if you build it towards a theme, like especially what your particular DAO is, I'm going to say yes far more often than just, hey, I'm going to build this structureless, themeless type of thing, and I want it specifically because of these effects that we strategize would be the most ideal build structure for this conflux.
It incorporated things that were part of my DAO, but it was also like extra narrative points, which didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, that would be more of a Johnny character thing. Like Lara would absolutely be more
able
Fate
to
point,
get more
narrative point.
narratives and yeah.
But yeah, if you want to restructure it, I'll be more likely to approve it.
I don't have
But-
merit at the moment, so I've got plenty of time to think on it.
Wait, as if you spend?
I have spent merit.
Yeah, it was 2 complex purchases you just did.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Because I was like, have I not given you guys good merit recently? I gave you guys a
you
decent
did.
amount.
I spent 90 of it.
I spent 100 of it.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah,
When you said no
for
to that, I decided to go a different direction,
yeah.
opposed to
As
try
a
to
note,
argue for
though,
it further.
if you can't buy it with merit, if you want to, you can still go out and learn it in game. Because I'm not going to take that from you. It may be harder. If you're a sword practitioner, you try pick up spear techniques. That's you have a proficiency of talent, but the spear is weird in comparison to the sword. So it may be harder to learn, but you can still potentially learn it. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get to work. Thank you guys.
Yes,
I'm gonna
thank
go
you.
work on my projects.
You do that. We will scheme.
Good.
Or unless Johnny has things to do.
What? What are you saying?
Scheming.
I'm gonna go scheme
Oh, cool.
and work on stuff.
You do that.
That's definitely how that. Hmm.
But I think the setting up, I guess, a memory of our DAO discussion with that terror thing might be a decent layer of protection. The only issue here is then Poe might get caught in it. But I think he can overcome that. Um, they took our terror buddy, though.
Yep, he's gonna go get trained.
It's swole.
Get swole.
Yeah, as for what you said, Matt, about thresholds, I think a lot of them are great. I think there should be tuning on some of the non-heroic qualities.
Non-heroic. Okay, so some
Yeah.
of the
Yeah, the lesser ones.
Okay.
Um,
I'll look into those.
yeah, there's just a few things. You should expand upon your enhancement things you've added in for your heroic qualities. Um, they seem very similar to either a refinement or an enforcement that you have doing in this game, but there's really no exclamation or is it the right word? Exclamation. There's no description of what enhancement does for someone looking at
Explanation.
those. Yeah, explanation. Sorry, of what would they would do. Like, are they similar to unnaturals? Are they? What is their?
Enhancements are just modifications to the base mechanical system.
Right.
I'll look further into it.
Yeah. It's just like one of them give you a bunch of enhancements. I think overclock is one of those examples. For a little bit, and like, but what do they do? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
you have another one that's like, for example, layer shaper. It's all based off influence. But what about for things where you don't usually influence that way? Is it based off of more of, um, yeah, I don't know. It could be your casting stat instead, or it could. Yeah, there's just a few ones like that that I just look at it like it's all module specific, which is fine.
Because I think Lair Shaper works here, but I feel like in the Tuesday campaign, for example, where influence is a currency and not like a stat, It's,
Yeah. That's a good example.
Yep.
Modular.
I'll put in an errata, as they would call it.
for modules that
Yes.
need it. Because I think it's appropriate for this one. But well, then again, you can't really get your influence above the 110 in this case, so it is limited in its.
Well, you think of it like this: it could be of a baseline of how much you have in that realm, I suppose. So it would
Oh
increase.
yeah, so it could include
Yeah, the
major
previous.
realms as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it should include minor realms, because 100 influence is, from what I've gathered of other people's discussions, a lot easier to acquire in this game than a lot of other games.
Very true.
It's perspective. At the end of the day, it's like.
Yeah, because it's a
story.
relative strength as opposed to this is the numerical value it's giving, at least for this one.
Usually, every new threat game having 100 influence means you're
Kinda swole.
kind of at the you're at the point.
Pinnacle, yeah.
There's very few characters that would have over 100 influence.
Because we got to 100 influence in like 5 to 10 sessions.
Yeah,
We've done it
because we
multiple times.
reset.
So.
I think that's
Yeah.
it's a marker. That's
Yeah, it's not a. It's a level of how full your vessel is in its current
Mhm.
level of, I guess, cultivation. We have to consolidate that.
Okay.
And I
can
don't
do
even
that.
think influence should be a factor, honestly, in Realm Shaper on this. It should just be based on your minor and major realms that you've gone up.
Okay, I can do that. That was
And
kind of
maybe
the direction I was leaning towards, anyways.
maybe your Gestalt as well. Like what you did with our geniuses. It could be based on the
I think I'll
same.
keep it to realms, and then Genius has its own like the talent percentage has its own thing in the game. So.
Sure.
Mm.
Measuring. But what are you measuring?
My processing speed on thinking about things. Yeah. Like I was saying, I think some of them are really well. I think some of them could use tune-ups for your qualities. I feel like I want more, or at least be able to choose from other like characteristic pillars. Like for example, if they share. But that's just a me ask. I'm not saying you should do that. Or at least have. Yeah, I feel like more options would be fun. If they shared, that would give you more options. Maybe having the choice of either picking Layer Shaper or one of the other heroic qualities might be an interesting ask too at the highest threshold. Because like it's I think that's the whole point you were going for. Like at number 4 is like, hey, you kind of have to pick like which one are you gonna have out of those 4, and then that was a hard choice. And then if you instead of
Or
picking
you
Layer
can pick
Shaper,
another one from the lower ones.
yeah, but the lower ones aren't ones. I feel that the lower ones don't add up to 1 heroic. That's how I feel about them right
Yeah.
now.
Maybe I should have it so that if you give up a one of the better ones, you can pick 2 of the lower tier ones. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll workshop it.
Yeah. But that's just my opinions. You do not have to make any changes, Matt. Like you're doing a great job. But that's just how I'm feeling about them.
I'm always striving to make this game better.
For sure.
And sometimes only when players actually get around to that particular part of the content does it actually become apparent. Ew, maybe not good on surface.
At the end of the day, theory testing is great and all, but unless there's actual practical use, it doesn't really. Unless you don't have any, if you have play testing, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. If you have play testing and actual use, then you can get something out of it. When you have data, like I think you said that before, you need the data.
I need that sweet data, guys. I need it.
Well, it could work the other way around too. Like, for example, my brother in his campaign he's running gave us a magic item that he's like, this is just going to be a joke gag magic item. It's a bag of seeds that we could grow any plant instantly. Turns out a redwood is big.
I think any is the limitation there. It should have been like, flowers or
He
crops.
There are flowers that'll instantly kill people too, though.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the thing. Like it's not something he really thought about. He's like, well, he'll just do some funny things with it. Horrible things ensued afterwards with that bag of seeds.
Right.
So, or it could look really powerful and be like, well, we don't actually have any use for this.
Yep.
Theory crafting can only get you so far. Is my, I guess, agreeing point there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I mean, you can only imagine so much because just like any programmer, you have user people that are going to be like, "Oh,
We're going to use it wrong
reversed this."
100% of the time.
It's going to work. Well, it's not going to work the way you wanted it to, but it's definitely going to do something. And then you
All
gotta-
right. So they're going to use this ability to walk through the door in the bar. Why are you trying to get in through the chimney?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys.
Cool. You are welcome.
Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Well, I'm sad